Hey, I'm Dr. Carter. Today I want to talk about the most popular beauty and longevity supplement in the world right now, and the three specific ways most adults over 50 are taking it wrong. Collagen, the most abundant protein in the human body, the structural scaffold for your skin, joints, bones, muscles, tendons, and blood vessels. And after 50, your body produces approximately 1% less of it every year, a decline that started in your 30s but accelerates dramatically after menopause in women and continues steadily in men. The supplement industry has responded with a tidal wave of collagen products: powders, capsules, gummies, drinks, marine collagen, bovine collagen, chicken collagen, type 1, type 2, type 3. Hydrolyzed, undenatured peptides. The marketing is extraordinary, the consumer confusion is equally extraordinary, and underneath that confusion is a simple scientific reality that most brands have no financial incentive to communicate clearly. The type of collagen you take, the dose you take, and when you take it relative to other nutrients are not interchangeable. Getting all three wrong, which most people do, produces a supplement experience that ranges from underwhelming to completely ineffective. That's what today is about. Subscribe now and turn on the bell. New videos every week. Here is what the largest collagen study ever published shows. In June 2026, researchers from Anglia Ruskin University published an umbrella review in the Aesthetic Surgery Journal analyzing 113 randomized controlled trials involving 7,983 participants, the most comprehensive evaluation of collagen supplementation ever assembled. The findings were clear and specific. Collagen supplementation has consistent, statistically significant benefits for skin elasticity, skin hydration, and osteoarthritis symptom reduction. It has meaningful benefits for musculoskeletal health, muscle recovery, and bone mineral density. The evidence is less convincing for cardiometabolic outcomes like blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol. Those findings matter, but what matters more, and what that umbrella review makes clear when you read beyond the headlines, is that the benefits are dose-dependent and type-dependent in ways that most consumers and most products completely ignore. A 2025 review in Frontiers in Nutrition, integrating more than 60 clinical studies, established the dose framework that the current science supports. For skin outcomes, elasticity, hydration, wrinkle reduction, 2.5 to 5 grams per day is sufficient. For joint health, muscle recovery, and bone mineral density, 10 to 20 grams per day is required for meaningful outcomes. Most collagen supplements sold today contain 2.5 to 5 grams per serving. Most consumers taking them for joint or bone health are getting 1/4 to 1/8 of the dose the research uses for those specific outcomes, and they are wondering why their knees still hurt. That is wrong dose number 1. Wrong type and wrong time follow, and they matter equally. Today I'm going to show you 7 things collagen does in the body after 50, what the science actually supports for each, and the exact protocol that matches type, dose, and timing to outcome. And the benefit that surprises most people comes in number 5, because it connects collagen to something most adults over 50 are managing with medication and have never thought to address with a protein supplement. Stay until the end, because the protocol section finally makes sense of the type confusion that most collagen marketing creates deliberately. Let's get into it. Before the 7 benefits, I need to establish what collagen actually is, because the marketing has created significant confusion about what you're actually taking when you take a collagen supplement. Collagen is the most abundant protein in the human body, comprising approximately 30% of total body protein. It's the primary structural protein in connective tissue. It provides tensile strength to skin, bones, tendons, and ligaments. It forms the cartilage matrix in joints. It lines blood vessels. It gives skin its elasticity and thickness. There are at least 28 types of collagen in the human body. The three most relevant to supplementation are type 1, the most abundant, found in skin, bones, tendons, and ligaments, providing structural strength. Type 2, found primarily in cartilage, providing the cushioning and compressive resistance of joint surfaces, and type 3, found alongside type 1 in skin and blood vessels, contributing to elasticity and vascular integrity. This distinction matters because collagen supplements work through a specific mechanism, not by delivering collagen directly to the target tissue, but by delivering bioactive peptides that signal the body's own cells to produce more collagen. Hydrolyzed collagen peptides, where the protein has been broken down into shorter chains called peptides, absorb into the bloodstream as ProHEP and HIP-GLI dipeptides. A 2025 study in the Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology confirmed that ProHEP dipeptides stimulate fibroblast proliferation and hyaluronic acid synthesis, with skin moisture improvements persisting at 16 weeks. The signal these peptides send and the cells they signal depends on which collagen type you're taking. Hydrolyzed type 1 and 3 peptides primarily signal skin fibroblasts and osteoblasts. Type 2 collagen, particularly in its undenatured form, primarily acts through a different mechanism involving oral tolerance in joint cartilage, and all of collagen synthesis, regardless of type, requires vitamin C as an essential cofactor. Vitamin C is required for the hydroxylation of proline and lysine residues that give collagen its triple helix structure and mechanical strength. Without adequate vitamin C, the collagen synthesis that your supplementation is supposed to stimulate cannot proceed normally. This is the cofactor nobody mentions, and the reason why taking collagen without vitamin C is leaving a significant portion of its potential on the table. Here are the 7 things collagen does in the body after 50, and what the science actually supports for each. Benefit number 1, skin elasticity and hydration, the most consistent evidence. The 2026 Umbrella Review, 113 trials, 7,983 participants, found the most consistent evidence for collagen supplementation in skin elasticity and hydration. This is where the evidence is clearest and the dose is lowest. At 2.5 to 5 grams per day of hydrolyzed collagen peptides, type 1 or a type 1 and 3 blend, skin elasticity improvements are measurable within 4 to 8 weeks of consistent supplementation. The 2025 Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology study showed statistically significant hydration improvements persisting at 16 weeks. A 2024 RCT confirmed that collagen hydrolysates from fish, porcine, and bovine sources all yield relevant plasma concentrations of bioactive peptides, meaning the source matters less than the hydrolysis and the dose. The mechanism: ProHEP dipeptides reach skin fibroblasts, stimulate collagen synthesis, and simultaneously trigger hyaluronic acid production, the water-binding molecule responsible for skin plumpness and hydration. This is a collagen supplement doing something from the inside that no topical cream can replicate, stimulating the cells that build the dermis from within. For skin outcomes specifically, 2.5 to 5 grams daily, hydrolyzed peptides with vitamin C consistently for at least 8 to 12 weeks before expecting visible results. Benefit number 2, joint pain reduction. The evidence is real, but the dose is different. This is where most people are getting wrong. Dose number 1. The 2026 Umbrella Review found consistent evidence for collagen supplementation reducing osteoarthritis symptoms. The Frontiers in Nutrition 2025 review established that for joint outcomes, pain reduction, mobility improvement, and cartilage matrix support, 10 to 20 grams per day is required for meaningful outcomes, not 2.5 grams, not 5 grams, 10 to 20 grams. The mechanism for joint benefit is distinct from the skin mechanism. Collagen peptides that reach joint tissue are taken up by chondrocytes, the cells that maintain cartilage, and signal increased production of cartilage matrix components, including type 2 collagen and aggrecan. This uptake requires higher plasma concentrations of peptides than skin fibroblast stimulation, which is why the dose is 4 to 8 times higher. For joint outcomes specifically, type 2 collagen has an additional and distinct mechanism. Undenatured type 2 collagen, not hydrolyzed but preserved in its native structure, works through oral tolerance at doses as low as 40 milligrams per day. It presents to Peyer's patches in the gut-associated lymphoid tissue, which suppresses the immune-mediated inflammatory response against cartilage that drives much of the joint pain in osteoarthritis. This is a completely different mechanism from hydrolyzed peptide supplementation, and it requires a completely different product. The practical framework for joint pain, either 10 to 20 grams of hydrolyzed collagen peptides daily or 40 milligrams of undenatured type 2 collagen daily, are the two evidence-supported approaches. A 2.5 gram collagen gummy is not a joint supplement by any meaningful definition of that claim. Benefit number 3. Bone density, the most underappreciated collagen application. Bone is not primarily mineral. Approximately 35% of bone by dry weight is organic matrix, and 90% of that organic matrix is type 1 collagen. The mineral component of bone, calcium hydroxyapatite, deposits within and around this collagen scaffold. Without a healthy collagen scaffold, calcium supplementation builds on a compromised foundation. The 2025 Frontiers in Nutrition review confirmed that doses of 10 to 20 grams per day are required for bone mineral density improvements, and older adults who have baseline deficits in collagen turnover show greater responsiveness than younger populations. For women after menopause, where estrogen loss accelerates both bone collagen degradation and mineral loss simultaneously, collagen supplementation at adequate doses addresses the organic matrix component of bone loss that calcium and vitamin D supplementation alone cannot. This is the bone health application that most osteoporosis conversations completely ignore, focusing on mineral supplementation while overlooking the collagen scaffold those minerals deposit within. Benefit number 4. Muscle mass and recovery. The sarcopenia connection. The connection between collagen and muscle health is one of the least discussed and most clinically relevant aspects of collagen supplementation for adults over 50. Muscle tissue contains collagen in the extracellular matrix that surrounds and connects muscle fibers, the perimysium and endomysium. This connective tissue collagen provides the mechanical framework for force transmission from muscle to tendon to bone. When collagen in this matrix deteriorates, as it does with age and sarcopenia, force transmission efficiency falls, muscle function is impaired even when muscle fiber mass is maintained, and the risk of muscle and tendon injury during exercise increases. Hydrolyzed collagen peptides at 15 to 20 grams per day, taken with vitamin C around exercise, have been shown in multiple trials to improve muscle function and reduce exercise-related muscle soreness in older adults. The 2026 Umbrella Review confirmed musculoskeletal health benefits across the combined evidence base. This application is particularly relevant for adults over 50 who are already doing resistance training. adequate protein for leucine threshold muscle protein synthesis plus hydrolyzed collagen for connective tissue matrix support plus resistance training represents the most mechanistically complete approach to sarcopenia prevention available. Benefit number 5. Tendon and ligament integrity, the one that surprises people. This is the benefit most adults over 50 never connect to collagen. Tendons and ligaments are almost entirely collagen. Type 1 collagen, comprising 65 to 80% of tendon dry weight. After 50, tendon collagen turnover slows dramatically, tensile strength declines, and the risk of tendinopathy, chronic tendon degeneration, increases significantly. This is why Achilles tendon issues, rotator cuff problems, tennis elbow, and patellar tendinopathy become so much more common in the second half of life. A specific protocol has emerged from sports medicine research. 15 grams of hydrolyzed collagen taken with 50 milligrams of vitamin C 30 to 60 minutes before exercise that stimulates peritendinous collagen synthesis during the exercise window. This protocol has been tested in randomized trials showing increased collagen synthesis rates in tendons and ligaments during and immediately after exercise. For adults over 50 managing chronic tendon pain, recovering from tendon injury, or simply wanting to protect the connective tissue that their resistance training program is loading, this pre-exercise collagen and vitamin C protocol is one of the most evidence-supported specific applications in the entire collagen literature. Benefit number 6. Gut lining integrity. The gut lining is rich in type 4 collagen, a network-forming collagen that provides the structural basement membrane beneath the intestinal epithelium. Collagen also contributes to the connective tissue of the lamina propria and the structural integrity of the intestinal wall. There is preliminary evidence, and the operative word is preliminary, that collagen peptide supplementation may support gut barrier integrity, potentially relevant to the leaky gut mechanisms we discussed in our gut health video. The glycine content of collagen is particularly relevant here. Glycine is an anti-inflammatory amino acid that protects the intestinal epithelium and supports the mucus layer that lines the gut. The gut lining evidence is less robust than the skin, joint, and bone evidence, but for adults over 50 who are already taking collagen for other applications, the gut supportive amino acid profile, particularly the glycine content, is a legitimate secondary benefit that comes without additional supplementation. Benefit number 7. Wound healing and tissue repair, accelerated with age-appropriate dosing. Collagen is central to all phases of wound healing, from the inflammatory phase through granulation tissue formation to the remodeling phase that produces the final scar and restored skin barrier. As collagen production declines after 50, wound healing slows measurably, a clinical pattern that every surgeon and dermatologist managing older patients recognizes. Hydrolyzed collagen supplementation has been studied specifically in the context of surgical wound healing and chronic wound management, with positive outcomes in multiple controlled studies. The mechanism is the same as for skin elasticity, pro-peptides stimulating fibroblast activity, but the clinical relevance for adults over 50 who undergo surgical procedures, recover from injuries, or manage chronic skin conditions extends well beyond the cosmetic application. If you recognize these benefits as relevant to your health goals, what comes next is the protocol that finally makes the type, dose, and timing confusion disappear. Here is the protocol, organized by outcome, because the type, dose, and timing genuinely depend on what you're trying to achieve. First, match the type and dose to your primary goal. For skin elasticity and hydration, 2.5 to 5 grams per day of hydrolyzed collagen peptides, type 1 or type 1 and 3 blend. This is the dose where the evidence is most consistent and where most products are correctly dosed. Take it with vitamin C, 50 to 100 milligrams alongside the collagen, to support the hydroxylation reactions that collagen synthesis requires. For joint pain and osteoarthritis, either 10 to 20 grams per day of hydrolyzed collagen peptides or 40 milligrams of undenatured type 2 collagen daily. These are completely different products requiring completely different doses. The undenatured type 2 route works through oral tolerance. It must not be hydrolyzed, as hydrolysis destroys the native structure required for the immune tolerance mechanism. If your primary goal is joint pain and you've been taking 5 grams of hydrolyzed collagen and not feeling benefit, this may explain why. For bone density, muscle recovery, and tendon health, 15 to 20 grams per day of hydrolyzed collagen peptides with vitamin C, ideally timed around exercise. At this dose range, collagen provides the connective tissue substrate that resistance training needs to produce structural improvements, not just muscle fiber growth, but the entire mechanical system that translates muscle force into movement. Second, the vitamin C cofactor, non-negotiable for all collagen applications. Every application of collagen supplementation requires adequate vitamin C. Vitamin C is the essential cofactor for prolyl hydroxylase and lysyl hydroxylase, the enzymes that add the hydroxyl groups to proline and lysine residues that give collagen its triple helix structure and mechanical stability. The practical dose is 50 to 100 milligrams of vitamin C taken simultaneously with collagen. The co-administration timing matters more than the total daily vitamin C intake. Third, timing, when it matters most. For skin applications, timing is flexible. Consistency over months matters more than daily timing precision. For joint and bone applications, these are slow turnover tissues. Clinical trials showing bone density improvements ran 6 to 12 months. Expecting joint or bone benefit from 4 weeks of supplementation is not a realistic expectation based on the evidence. For tendon and connective tissue, the pre-exercise protocol is specific. 15 grams of hydrolyzed collagen plus 50 milligrams of vitamin C, 30 to 60 minutes before loading the target tissue through exercise. Fourth, source. Does it matter? The 2024 RCT confirmed that marine porcine and bovine hydrolyzed collagen all produce relevant plasma concentrations of bioactive peptides. For hydrolyzed peptide applications, skin, bone, muscle, tendon, the source matters less than the hydrolysis quality and the dose. For undenatured type 2 collagen specifically, the source is typically chicken sternum cartilage, and the product must specify undenatured. Hydrolyzed type 2 collagen loses the native structure required for the oral tolerance mechanism. Fifth, realistic timelines, what the evidence actually shows. Skin outcomes, visible improvement at 8 to 12 weeks of consistent supplementation. Measurable at 4 weeks in some studies. Joint pain outcomes, 12 to 24 weeks for meaningful symptom reduction in most controlled trials. This is a connective tissue application. Connective tissue remodels slowly. If you stopped your collagen at 6 weeks because your knees didn't feel better yet, you stopped before the evidence-supported window. Bone density. 6 to 12 months for measurable changes in bone mineral density markers. Sixth, what collagen doesn't do, being honest about the limits. The 2026 Umbrella Review found less convincing evidence for cardiometabolic outcomes, blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol. Collagen is not a metabolic health supplement. Its benefits are structural. Collagen also does not replace dietary protein for muscle protein synthesis in the leucine threshold sense we discussed in the protein video. Collagen is low in branched-chain amino acids and essentially devoid of tryptophan. It does not trigger the mTOR-mediated muscle protein synthesis that complete protein sources activate. For muscle fiber growth, complete protein at the leucine threshold is still required. Collagen supports the connective tissue matrix around those fibers, a different and complementary function. If you recognize these benefits as relevant to your health goals, what comes next is the protocol that finally makes the type, dose, and timing confusion disappear. Today you heard what the largest collagen study ever published, 113 trials, 7,983 participants, actually shows. And more importantly, you heard the framework that makes those findings actionable after 50. The 3 mistakes that most people make. Wrong type. Using hydrolyzed collagen when the joint pain mechanism calls for undenatured type 2, or not distinguishing between type 1 for skin and the higher doses required for structural tissue. Wrong dose, taking 2.5 to 5 grams for joint or bone outcomes when the evidence base for those applications uses 10 to 20 grams. Wrong time, skipping vitamin C as the essential cofactor, missing the pre-exercise timing window for tendon applications, or stopping after 6 weeks when the evidence-supported timelines for joint and bone outcomes run 12 to 24 weeks. You saw the 7 benefits: skin elasticity and hydration, the most consistent evidence at the lowest dose. Joint pain reduction, consistent evidence at a dose most supplements don't deliver. Bone density, the collagen scaffold application that calcium supplementation alone can't address. Muscle recovery and the sarcopenia, connective tissue connection. The tendon and ligament integrity benefit in number 5 that most adults over 50 never connect to a protein supplement. The gut lining glycine benefit as a secondary application, and wound healing acceleration when increasingly relevant as tissue repair slows in the second half of life. And you heard the protocol. Match the type and dose to the outcome, not to the marketing. Skin 2.5 to 5 grams hydrolyzed, type 1. Joints 10 to 20 grams hydrolyzed or 40 milligrams undenatured, type 2. Bone, muscle, tendon 15 to 20 grams hydrolyzed with vitamin C around exercise. Vitamin C as a non-negotiable cofactor for all applications. Realistic timelines: 8 to 12 weeks for skin, 12 to 24 weeks for joints, 6 to 12 months for bone. Here's what I want to leave you with. Collagen works. The science is now clear enough and the evidence base large enough to say that with confidence. But collagen works specifically, for specific outcomes, at specific doses, with specific cofactors, over specific timelines. The gap between what the marketing promises and what the evidence actually requires is where most people's collagen experience lives. Now you know the difference. If this video finally made sense of something you've been trying without clear results, please hit the like button. It helps this channel grow and reach more people who deserve this information. Subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next videos. Share this with someone over 50 who is taking collagen every day but has never thought about whether the dose matches the outcome they're trying to achieve. This is the conversation most supplement labels are deliberately not having. And leave a comment right now. Tell me, what are you taking collagen for? And were you aware of the dose difference between skin and joint applications before watching this video? I read every comment personally. I'm Dr. Carter, I'm here, and I'll see you in the next video.